So, as I stated before, we attended the 10 Ready training last week, 2 days, and I asked the teachers as I was sitting there learning in the leaders training, I thought about the word collaboration and what it's going to take for us to move our middle and high school to the next level. And that's the reason why the word collaborative came to mind, that we have to collaborate on the student achievement and developing the whole child. So at this time, if you click on Coach P, you got a couple of people going to share what collaboration is.
Coach P, I teach at Moss Middle School. I teach LPE. Collaborating is about positive work together with our stakeholders, utilizing their skills and talents to accomplish a common goal.
Collaboration is working together with your talent and intention to achieve a common. My name is Sasha George. I am Oz. I am collaboration. Collaboration is working together with your talent and intention to achieve a common goal. Working with parents, teachers, administration, all in one alliance to make sure that partnership has the best interest of your students.
How does collaboration play? Where does the word collaboration play in 10 Ready? In 10 Ready.
Okay. Collaboration plays a big part of 10 Ready with unity and alliance, making sure that the message that comes down from administration is passed on from the teachers, the team, to the students, parents, all in all.
Collaboration among teachers allows us to bounce ideas off of each other and to learn new strategies and techniques that will benefit us in the classroom. It creates coherence and camaraderie among colleagues that helps teachers to continuously learn and grow.
Awesome. As Reverend Johnson shared with us earlier about the middle and high school being the academy, it's very important that there are some things that we can collaborate on, and there are some things that we will do different because we are a middle school level, and the high school is a high school level. A traditional school, you have a lot of teacher isolation. You did what you wanted to do in your classroom, you could shut your door. But in order for us, with the new educational reform, we know we can't do this work in isolation. But we moved to professional learning communities, collaborative teams. And this is what we have. And we discussed this a little in our admin meeting this week. We need a collaborative team with the middle school and the high school. And we need to meet on those things and make for sure that when we are together, that we're respecting each other and we are aligning what we're doing at the middle school with the high school as our students transition on to the high school. That's what we want. It's not that we want to say, oh, they need to go to another school and all. They need to transition to the high school. And it should be where our science teachers are talking to our high school teachers, where our math teachers are talking, that those departments need to be communicating and all. As you go on and we talk about 10th grade, you will see that line, and you need the 6th grade teachers need to be talking with the 7th grade teachers, vice versa, the 8th grade to the 9th grade, and 9th grade to 10th grade, because there's a line you will see in the state standards, the Common Core state standards, that these are the things that they need to know in this grade level and in order to be successful in the 9th, 10th, 11th grade. So that's what we need to be collaborative on as we move into our the Academy way. Here, let's do a little reflection here. Let's take a few minutes to refamiliarize yourself with these aspects of the word collaboration. Look at number 1. As you think about our schools, the middle and high, select 2 most important aspects of collaboration that would impact our school the most. The most. Just think about that and what resonates with you when you think about our middle and high school. Communication. Being transparent.
One culture.
One culture, community, unity. Okay, so we're throwing out words, and now let's elaborate on this communication piece or this transparency piece. Yes, Mr. Patton.
Somebody mentioned unity, but uniformity, as far as the level of instruction, even though we teach various subjects, I think the blueprint or the format in which we give instruction should be uniform. You know, for example, if I go to Popular at McDonald's and get a chicken sandwich, then I should be able to go on another side of town and get that same chicken sandwich. If you look at McDonald's, they're the same company, even though there are different leaders in position. The menu is the same, their uniform is the same, the things that they say, you know, are the same. So you don't see a various difference between one McDonald's or another. So when you bring that back in to, you know, to school and at mosque, I think the uniformity, the way we provide instruction, from the lesson plans to the delivery, even though it's different subjects, it should be the same to where a student can't really see a lot of difference between the level of instruction that is being provided.
I totally agree. That is something we can be collaborative on, is the instructional plan. And we know that that's a line, but we have to break that down and dissect it. What does the anticipatory set look like, okay? Are we really hooking our students and preparing them? What does that look like in the classroom? Would you elaborate more on transparency?
When I think about collaboration, I think about more so even the teachers and the different teams that we'll have within the school coming together. And I feel like when you're transparent, you have to share out your successes as well as your failures and have those difficult conversations. So if I'm talking to the science team, it's important for me to be honest that something that I use that I suggest to them really didn't work. And why do I think that it didn't work, instead of blaming the students and finding things like that, truly being honest with myself and being transparent with my team about what's going on or what I'm struggling with. Sometimes we will sit and struggle by ourselves and try to put on the mask that everything is okay, but somebody could have stepped in and helped, whether it's science, math, social studies. Everybody needs to just be honest and true with what's going on.
Okay. Some high school collaborative. Yes.
Just to piggyback off of what she said, it's more of just.
Can you stay and also he's recording? We have some people that are out. We're making sure. Yes.
Just piggyback on what she said, it's about being open to constructive criticism as well. You might think it works, but as a teacher, again, you teaching this lesson, and they saying it's not working. So a lot of times I find that people get in their shell and they don't want to hear anything coming from anyone else. And me being a special ed teacher and coming in, I've never had a problem with collaborating and being in an inclusion class because of the personality I have. But I've seen it more times than none where the regular ed teacher don't want to collaborate with the special ed teacher at all. And the door is getting shut in our face. Like I said, it doesn't happen to me because I'm gonna open the door and go back in. Those are my kids. But it's just being able to just accept the constructive criticism.
Also, now we talked about having those courageous conversations. We have lead teachers on each team, on each campus. And it's important that sometime, I know Reverend Johnson stated that earlier, but I will make sure I email my org chart, is that it's Acts 3 before me. Because you want to have that, the belief that your lead teacher's helping you, your colleagues are helping you. The principal doesn't have to know everything. If it's dealing with going to affect the safety of the school or the students, then that may be something you need to bring instead of trying to handle it on yourself. But it's very important. It's not a stay-at teacher. We talk about that. We all the teachers, we're all in the planning process together. We have RTI Square coming up. It's just not on the stay-at teacher to teach progress monitoring, do the testing and all. It's every teacher in the building. That's from middle and high school. Okay? When we talk about collaborative, again, still we want to look at that last number 2. And I don't have my glasses. Can you read that out loud for me, Mr. Estes?
What opportunities exist for you to build stronger collaboration during the 2015-2016 school year?
What opportunities do we have? We heard it from our ED already, what he wants us to do. I'm sure Dr. Williams at the high school wants us to be collaborative. PLC meetings, okay? And so in the PLC meetings, we got to make sure we have a what? An agenda, a sign-in sheet, okay? Everyone has a voice. So how do we do that with middle and high school? Because we do need to collaborate. We need a team. I don't know what we need to call it, but we need to at least meet once a month. Because we're talking about, we both get calls from the middle school about high school about the middle school, about the organizational things, uniforms and all of that. So it's important that we're on the same page, we're saying the same thing. Yes?
I was just thinking of just utilizing any time that we have set aside for our PD. Sometimes when we don't really utilize all the time that's actually given to us, we really think we don't have it or we have to plan outside of school. But just using any available school time that's actually set to the side for planning, actually just meeting together with your teams instead of, using that time as like your individual, I'm gonna be by myself, really just say, hey, I can plan by myself on my own time if I need to, but if I really need to talk to the science team, that's good for them to not have to try to make, arrangements outside of school. We can just use the time that we're expected to be at the school anyway.
Well, I'm hearing that, and I'm thinking about, you have those tier 1 students, okay? There was a student we had at the middle school, made a 23. I don't feel that student was pushed. So I'm thinking we should have collaborated with the teachers at the high school to challenge how we challenge the students more. We just can't let that person stay in tier 1. Okay? So we want to challenge those students at tier 1 level as well as tier 3 as well. I'm still not hearing how can we collaborate. Yes.
For one, the using the hierarchy as far as the structure that was posted earlier. And what I mean by that, I know I heard Reverend Johnson say about a lot of times as high school, middle school teachers, we talk amongst each other, and these conversations or these private conversations may be occurring, but if it's not brought out to the light, then there's no resolution for what needs to go on. So that's where the organizational structure comes in. If somebody from the middle school has an idea or the high school has an idea, that's going to benefit both schools. Then of course follow the chain of command. Go to your high school principal or your middle school principal, make these ideas or concerns known, and then let the two principals collaborate. Okay, how can we change this to make it better for both schools since we're one organization? Because that's the importance of everything is being synoptic, you know, being
Okay,
seen as the
understood.
same eye. So I think following the chain of command and the organizational structure, since you guys are the leaders and administrators, you are the ones that can actually implement these things and put them in place, even though as teachers, we're just pawns. So I think only time change can make is if we communicate it amongst ourselves and bring it to the administrator.
Awesome. So what you're saying that I network with, Dr. Williams about the needs of how we can come together on things and then transition it to you all. Is that in agreement? Because we need to do this. This perception is also when you're at the middle school or we come to the high school, it's not our place. I mean, the middle school place is our place. And I should be the only one getting up talking and different things. It should be both schools. We have something to share. We all are evaluated by team and all. When I look at the data, the end of school year out, did the professionalism with all the teachers and all, and I see it's okay, this is what's going to drive the PD this year. And so it should be, Mr. Patton, where I'm looking at the chart for the middle school, and then Dr. Wills maybe can look at the chart for the high school. Where are we aligned? Do both of all our teachers have problems with questioning? Or do they have problems with the students mastering the objective? And then we center our PD around that? I mean, those are the things I'm thinking that you're talking about as well, okay? Mr. Estes?
I was still feedback on what you're saying. You talked about meeting once a month with both campuses, but instead of having meetings, people just get together and do PD. One of the things you charged us with this year was to go out and find PD. And when we go there, PD come back and share that knowledge with the other teachers. And I mean, that's how you empower everybody. So, I mean, you know, high school teachers may go through a PD that can benefit us. We come together once a month, somebody's charged with coming up and presenting that information to everybody. That way, that goes back to aligning the teaching. So now, people at the high school teaching the same thing I'm teaching, they're using the same methods I'm using.
Okay, awesome. Because one of the things I hear about one of the out-of-town charters, that PD at Green Dot is number one for teachers. And so we have to continue to empower, we have to grow as leaders and as teachers to be competitive. Going back to self-reflection, you know, what is it that I have? Was I complacent? And so those are the things we gotta think about to move moms to the next level because, guys, 10 ready is no joke. Common Core is not. You got to collaborate. You can't do it alone. When you go through the training, you tell me one teachers have been through the training, can you do this work alone? You cannot do that content area alone. You cannot. You're gonna need all parts, not just the reading, the ELA department working together. It has to be a team. I mean, higher level. And we have to learn how to think critically as well as with the students. We gotta be able to empower our students to think critically. Yes.
And I think we're talking about stuff like PDs and professional meetings going on. PDs and professional meetings that's going on like later on. This is the perfect time to start right now. You have everybody in the room, start looking at your subject area, start collaborating now. Make it be intentional about it. I'm going to find out this person's belief system so I can talk to them about, oh, that's why you did that. So being intentional about collaborating right now. You have the perfect opportunity, you got the next 3 days to really get to know this person that's standing beside you. So just take the time to really start today to be about being intentional about collaborating.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Alexander, it's very important. So I'm gonna give you like 1 minute and just high school and middle school, if you know your science, raise your hand, science people, science teachers, okay? Look around, just don't look up here, see who they are, okay? The math people, ELA, okay, and who else? Social studies,
Oh, Lord.
physical education. Okay. So we have a wealth of knowledge in here. Look at yourself. Think about, if you look at your degrees, you have the power. Each one of us. That's, teach like a champion. All Doug and Mama did was go and observe and talk to teachers, that's all. It's nothing new under the sun. You have it, but you have to apply it and you have to share it. Okay? So, at this time, what's my time? I'm good? All right, awesome. So we're not going to be able to do that, but on your break time, and I'll continue to collaborate with your departments, both middle and high school. Anyone has something burning about collaboration? Yes.
Me personally, this is how I feel. I feel that you should want to. You should want to know. You should want to know what the middle school is teaching. It's just like when students graduate from high school and they go to college and have to take remedial courses. Those universities want to know, what did you not do? Why do they have to take these courses? You should want to know. We should want to know why we get so many students that cannot read in 6th grade. We should go to them schools and sit in their meetings. Find out what they're doing or not doing. That's it.
Thank you. All right, awesome.
I'm not an educator, but one of the things I was really impressed with, one of the young ladies, in terms of, I apologize, when you were speaking about collaboration, somebody made the comment, I am Moss, in the introduction. And so we have to internalize that, I am Moss, I am Moss. And so with that, I need to know all I can to help all I can.
Awesome. As during the professionalism meeting at the end of the school year, the thing was some of the teachers, and when you're looking at the indicators, the rubric and all, the number one thing I think Coach Pete mentioned early is self-reflection. We all know our challenges. We know that. And so those are the things we work on. I don't need to wait on Reverend Joyce to say, Ms. Reed, I need you to find some PD, go to this. I need you to better yourself with this. You need to go check a book out. I already know, but I have to put forth an effort. You can't wait on someone else with your career. You cannot. But as teams and working together, we can do it. And when talking, communicating with each other about the work, it's going to be very important to do so. We're going to move on. The big idea, one, ensuring that students learn. It is our job to make sure that all students are ready for success after graduation. It's our job. It is our job. All 435 of the high school, all 314 that we ended the school year, and I know we're going to get some more. 375.
And 475.
So it's, and 475. 475. It's important that we do every child. When I look at the quick scores, we have students in our SPED department, 1 point based on the quick score for proficient. 1 point. We have so many like that. So that means that we got to dig in every child. Why do we get up every morning? At the high school, we have, last year we had 393 reasons to get up. Middle school, 314 reasons why we get up. So, and we have to do this. Yesterday, I think it's in the paper, Memphis, the disconnect with our African American youth. 2, they're not in school and they're not working. We're high with that. So when they walk in on August the 3rd, we need to embrace every child, building those positive relationships. Is very important. If you don't connect, you won't be able to do what? Correct. It's just not going to happen, period. Number 2, what will it take? Believe I can't see it, Mr. Estes.
Our students can do it.
You got to believe that. You have to believe that. I don't care what's going on outside in the neighborhood, how mom, dad, uncle is coming to the school and what they have. Stop judging the kids. Amen. We have to believe in them. and continuous improvement. That's from Ms. Reed to the teachers, to our board members, continues. We have to continue to learn. Never stop learning. That's the number one problem in our nation, is that we get our degrees and we say, oh, I got my job, I'm finished. No. Number one problem with our pilots. You remember the year we had all the, falling asleep and different things, they were not going back, providing professional development. Military, means no. Every time we go where there are classes. Training never stops. I got something in the red now I need to take care of. So, it never stops. You always learning. Teamwork. I'm the first sergeant in the United States Air Force. Number one thing, when those new people come in, I discuss with them, guard your buddy. Everybody assigned a buddy. Here, leadership team, I know at the middle school, they have people assigned to them as of when. When did we meet Tuesday? Oh, you don't know a teacher, but you got a buddy. You have someone. And they know how I'm gonna do PD with them, how to have those courageous conversations with you. It is only because it's about the children. And we'll do the 7 quarters later. But we always think it's safety first. Period. Don't take it personal. It's all about the work and about you. That is it. No one else. And you don't have yours and I don't have mine until those were 375 and 475 get theirs. Going back to this one, after graduation. Norms, anytime in our meetings, we want to respect each other, be present and engage, appreciate, recognition, high expectation, accountability for adults. We want to smile, we want to laugh, we want to be positive. And if you're not feeling good, like I wasn't this morning, some of my teachers knew my body language. Oh, it's going to be all right. Okay? Can't have it your way always, Miss Reed, I tell you. All right. So now, what we want to do is that, as we started earlier, talking about TVOS and 10 ready teachers, there are some changes, right? One thing, I'm going to skip, Mr. S is going to talk a little about 10 ready. We're going to show you a video from, who is our Commissioner of Education in Tennessee?
McQueen.
Dr. who? McQueen, okay? Who's our Secretary of Education in the United States? Ernie Duncan. Come on, educator. We got to get it. We got to know who's making these decisions and all. Ernie Duncan, he had until 2016. I don't know what year who they're going to get, but it's going to be the same plan though, because Democrat and Republican, they on board with charter. Please know it's not going anywhere like Reverend Johnson stated. No, Dr. McQueen. So we're going to hear from her in a few minutes, as well as we'll talk about TVOS. Teachers, TVOS is growth. Does anyone know what TVOS stands for? Yes.
Tennessee Value Added Assessment System.
Exactly. Okay? That's exactly. In Shelby County School this past weekend, over thousands of teachers received letters in the mail. Terminated. Okay? Level 1s, level 2s. And it's based on TVOS. TVOS is kind of tricky. I have 2 books up here. If you want to check them out, you need to understand it's not going anywhere. Okay? Those books was given to me, 10 years ago, I think. It's not going anywhere. So here, the TVOS site, and I have it on the screen here, will be updated with details from 14-15 this past school year in the late part of June, probably last week in June. So you're in in code, you should have all your evaluations in there, and so your scores will be connected in the school-wide data, and you will see your final evaluation, okay? That's what happened last of this month. Now, 2015-16, that's going to change, and you'll see it in the video. We have 2 short videos, a 10 ready video and a TVOS video, and we're going to dig more deeper in this during in-service, okay? Because my boss said stay away from in-service. So something else, TVOS, I want to share with you. Next year, your observations when your leaders are coming in your classroom to observe you, it's going to count 60%. Okay, because we're doing something different with 10 Ready. The state has applied for a waiver for the next 2 years. They will not run the high priority list until 2017. They will run the reward list. Okay, the reward list. Okay, so we got not 2 years to get it right. We got to get it right this fall with breaking those standards apart and getting it to the depth. You don't need 20 questions to find out whether a child comprehends something. Okay, and once you go to that training, you're not going to be able to give 20 questions anyway. You definitely be working 24/7. Okay, all right. So I think those are the highlight, but even with, I'm talking, it's in the video. So if you have questions, we will, we're gonna do the 10 Ready video really quick, and I think it's maybe about 3 minutes long. It's Dr. McQueen, she will be speaking. And then we'll do the TVOS. And teachers, please listen carefully to both of them, and ask your administrator, we'll be going over these things with you.
Sending the students on to new challenges.
Please make sure you go visit that site and all. 10 Ready, there's a plethora of resources there. There are PLCs. I think the leader has access to that and open them up and making sure you distribute them to your lead teachers or your leadership team teachers. You should be receiving email. If you're not, making sure you get with your instructional facilitator or your principal. You should register the people that go on 10 Ready. That registered is tagged to your license. If you do not have a license number, then you will not receive the emails from the state. Okay. New teachers, I will make sure I do that today. Go ahead and register you. You let me know which session you want to go to, and I register you. There's Milton and Arlington. Okay, even if you keyboarding, coaching, and all. One of the things the superintendent said, am I still taking your? Okay. One of the things that he was saying is that a lot of, I hate to say this, a lot of coaches are going to quit, lose their jobs. And the reason why is that they got to teach. And they're normally want to come in and just do the coaching part and not the teaching part. And that's the reason why Coach P always put emphasis on I teach. She wants to be a part of the PLC meetings. She has a lot. She had to teach reading, math, and science this year, period, within her content area. So we're all in this together. Right hand, you have something else to say about 10 Ready? You good?
Well, you want me? I had a little piece I was gonna do. Come here.
Mr. Estes is my instruction facilitator, and he was in the teachers training. I texted him, you're in the wrong place. Get over here with the leaders. So he is really working hard. Teachers, moms, we pretty much got all the orders ready, so you have all your resources you need. August 3rd.
Alright, how y'all doing today? Okay, just real quickly, just talking about 10 Ready, and like Ms. Reese said, it's not in service, so we're not gonna get real deep, not gonna get real detailed. But 10 Ready's coming. Hold on, y'all. I think it's my PowerPoint. While I talk, minimize this. Maybe I'm blind, I can't find the maps.
Minimize this.
You see that? I ain't got that great.
Yeah, we're moving up. We got testing.
Fancy. again, not gonna get too deep, just gonna talk a little bit about 10 ready, but like Ms. Reed said, it's gonna be a big change. No more strictly multiple choice. You're gonna have open-ended questions. Students are gonna have to go back to passages and pull evidence out in order to answer questions and show that they went back, found the evidence, and know how to apply that knowledge. They'll also have questions that'll be multiple choice, but there'll be more than one answer. It'll be like 2 or 3 answers, and they have to select all of the answers or they'll get it wrong. So they have to have a lot of understanding in order to be able to answer these questions. All right, now, there's been a lot of pushback. We all know about Common Core, and like Ms. Reed said, 10 ready is basically Common Core with a different name. One of the reasons why people are pushing for Common Core is because most of our kids, especially here in Tennessee, they enter college and they don't have the basic skills in order to go in and be prepared for a college course. A lot of our kids come in and take remedial math or remedial language arts classes, and it's because they're not getting what they need in high school. And so if they change the test, that means we have to change our teaching in order to give them that rigor, in order to be prepared for college. All right? Now, our goal is to increase the number of students who graduate ready to succeed in college or a living wage career. Let me move forward. I'm gonna skip some of this stuff, but one of the interesting stats I read last night, y'all, was that about 65 to 70% of our kids who enter college in Tennessee don't graduate. They don't graduate. And a large portion of those kids drop out after the first year. And guess where they end up? Back here, working minimum wage jobs and struggling to make it. All right. So again, that's why it's important for us to engage and do all we can every day. All those 190 days we're here at school, it's a lot of days. Believe me, I know. I think I missed 1 day last year, and that was for a funeral. But it's a lot of days. You get tired some days, but you got a bigger goal in mind. It's bigger than yourself. One of the things, I had something I want to do this interactive with you guys. I want you to grab your cell phones right now. Grab your cell phones. Go to your browser, and I want you to type in this web address in your browser. See that web address down at the bottom? Type it in. I'm sorry. I got you. There you go. Type in that web address. When you go to it, you should see like a blue screen. It may have like a big pie, and it say that the presenter hasn't posted the question yet. Just hold tight. Raise your hand when you got it. Y'all type slow. You got it. No, it's not an S on my name. I mean, it's not an S in the address. It's just ESCE. You got it, and she got it. It should look like this. Everybody look. It should look like this. This piece of pie. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Is it case sensitive? It should be. That's yours. You got it?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. All right. While everybody's trying to get it, I'm gonna go ahead and post this question, and just take a look at your phone. All right, well, you should have a question on your phone now. Does anybody have a question on the phone? All right, somebody read that question for me out loud.
Name a skill or skills that should be the focal point of our instruction every day.
All right, somebody tell me, name a skill or skill that you think should be the focal point of our instruction every day that's going to help our kids succeed when it's time to take their test at the end of the year. What's one skill?
Reading.
Reading. All right, now, I want you to type it in and put your name at the end of it so we see. As you think of a skill, I want you to type it in your phone in that space and then put your name at the end so we'll know who sent it and just hit enter. You see it on the screen? We got reading.
The writing was mine.
Jasmine says writing. Thank you, Jasmine. That's the one I was looking for.
I said writing.
Anybody else got any ideas? Also, this is a cool web page for using your classroom with your kids. I use this for my kids, and they love it. We got a school set of laptops. I hand every kid a laptop on their desk. I give them a website to go to. They go in, and we have questions that I just put the questions up on the board, and I read them, and it's a race to see who can get the first 5 people who can get the answer and type it in correctly. And I focus on spelling, and so they have to take their time and type it. And we work on sentence structure, so it's all going back to language arts. We do open-ended questions with one-word answers. So this is a good tool. The website is called Poll Everywhere, and you can create your questions and pop up in class. All right. So the one I want to focus on right quick is where Janet go? Janet disappeared. I'm gonna use Miss George. Okay. Anyway, Miss George says writing. Funny statistic that we learned this week. Middle school teachers did the 10-point training, but we learned that most people or most teachers assume that because you can read, you can write. They think if you're a fluent reader that you can write. And it's a big misconception. Alright, those two should be taught separately. Because there are certain skills that kids need to have in order to be able to read and comprehend. And there's a whole different set of skills that kids need to be able to write and write well. For instance, when you're reading somebody else's work. You're analyzing their work for main ideas, themes, figurative language, metaphors, all that different stuff. You're analyzing their work. Ask a kid to write his own work using that stuff. Totally different, extremely hard. Most kids can't sit down and come up with a theme, let alone use figurative language. So, what I'm trying to hit is, if we work on writing in every class, and we focus on those things, guess what's going to increase?
Reading.
Your reading. They'll be able to go and find and read anything. Come up with your theme, figurative language, comprehension is going to go through the roof. And in order to pass this test, they got to be able to write. So guess what everybody needs to be teaching? And like Ms. Reed said, this principal in the meeting, he made that comment. He said, we got a lot of coaches that's going to lose their job. He said, you got those coaches that come in and want to teach social studies, and they think they can just breeze through. He's like, but now, kids got to write. You can't just tell them the answer, you got to teach them how to write the answer. All right? And that goes back to collaboration. We've been talking about collaboration this whole time. How awesome would it be for us to get together as a group and come up with one process for teaching our kids how to write? So then when they get to the 8th grade and they graduate, well, when they get to 9th grade English, you don't have to teach fundamentals. They already know them. Now you can just start working. Start giving them work, and they start writing. That's why, again, collaboration is so key. We're one school. We got so many kids that are going to high school. Those kids should already know those 9th grade teachers. They should be excited about going to Ms. Liggins' class. They should be excited about going to Mr. Cool's class. Give Mr. Coos. But they should be excited about going to see their 9th grade teachers who they've met multiple times. And not saying it's any fault of yours, but it's just our fault as a whole that we haven't been working with you guys and vice versa. So that goes back to collaboration. But in order for us to be successful at 10 Read Guys, we all have to start teaching writing. Make it a part of your daily work. And don't just come in and give some random prompt. What you do last night? That's not helpful. Make it intentional, related to their work. All right? Make them go back to the work that you taught them and use evidence and explain ideas and principles and theories. That's what they're going to have to do on 10 Read. When they take 10 Read, nobody cares what they did for Christmas. Don't care what you got, what's in the brush. We don't care what you're doing for Halloween. You know? So the work has to be intentional. And I had one more question. Let me see. I may have already answered because I talked too much. Last one. Can you think of any long-term benefits of collaboration? I kind of know one because I talked too much. What are some long-term benefits? If we collaborate, what are some long-term benefits? Type it in. Don't tell me. Inside collaboration, what are some long-term benefits? Consistency is met, yes ma'am. Student growth. Sustainability. Vertical integration allows students to grow every year at their own pace. Excellent. Student success. Also, too, if you have a smart board in your room, kids love it because while you're talking, you can go up and you can hit their answer and it blows it up really big. And it draws attention to it, so they love that too. Lifetime partner, Mims. Mr. Mims and a couple of people kind of touched on what key long-term collaboration benefit would be. And that's, we keep our kids. Dr. Williams wouldn't have to be out searching for kids. if every one of our kids in the 8th grade decide to go to Mars, he got a whole class already ready to come in. Because we didn't collaborate. The kids in 8th grade know they're not great teachers. So if we collaborate, now all this work we're doing trying to find kids to fill enrollment, it's gone. We'll be turning kids away. And that's what we'd rather be doing. Building waiting lists. So if we lose a child, guess what? We got another replacement. And that is my presentation.
So, and we're going to embrace our norms, we're gonna have respect. Teachers, well, we're gonna email you the video for TVAS, but one thing I want you to understand in TVAS, and we're gonna, would you do that last slide for me on mine, wrapping it up, is that please understand that your observation is going to weigh more. Your classroom observation is going to weigh more this upcoming school year. So make for sure that we will have professional development on all 12 indicators. We're going to break them apart before you understand what we're looking for when we're coming into the school, your classroom, as well as having those norming sessions, okay? So principal-led, teacher-led, instruction facilitator-led, and all, because Mr. Chavez may be great at questioning. So I need to send Ms. Edwards to Mr. Chavez's classroom at the high school. I don't have to send her to White Station Middle School or Promise Academy. We have an expert at the high school that knows those higher level questions to ask that she needs to see, okay? All right, so wrapping it up, you can read that and we are finished.
Let's put our hands together for Ms. Reed and Mr. Estes.